Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to look at what's going on with Regidrago. You see, the price of Regidrago cards, we might be able to mention some other couple in a minute as well, of course, but the price of Regidrago cards is going up quite significantly, and it's happening across the board, and I'm going to be honest with you, there's a reason for it. When I say it's going up across the board, I don't mean like the random one from Astral Radiance, okay? Like the random Regidrago from Astral Radiance, nobody cares, mate. I'm not being rude. It's a nice enough card. There was a time when those Regis were lovely. I liked the deck. Everyone liked the deck. The Regis as a whole have a cool design. Not saying anything bad about the Regis. But it was one of two dragon Pokemon in Astral Radiance, had a nice draw engine. Its time is past. It's effectively free. It's like a 5-cent card. It's basically free. But Regidrago V-Star, oh, that, ladies and gentlemen, that we can get on board with. You see, if we have a look at the graph for Regidrago, just over the past month, let's not even go that far. Let's just talk at the last month. We can see a fairly significant jump. It's $1 card, $1 card, $1 card, $1 card, $1 card, $7.50. Except it's not really a $7.50 card, because if you look at the last couple of sales, we're talking about $9 as a near mint, and then $6.50 and $7.50 for a lightly played, which are not mint. So they're not going to be the same. So it's gone from like a $1 card to a $10 card. Almost. It's not far off. It is 10 times in value, which is clearly absurd. And you might be thinking, well, Wassy, that's just the V-Star, mate. Yeah, there's a couple other versions of the V-Star as well that are also going up quite nicely. Now, my favourite version of the V-Star, we've got the Play Pokémon version, which, again, was around about a $1 card. And this is weird. It's jumped up to like $7.70, but there's one that sold for that, and then the others were $30 and $16. So I really don't think it's fair to call this a $7 card. Now, as it stands on TCG Player, it's actually sold out. Remember, this is the stamped version, which can only be gotten as a Play Pokemon promo, as a prize pack promo. And it's basically the same card, it's just got the stamp on it, but that kind of makes it cool. Because there is no other fancy version of Regidrago V-Star. Okay, fine, there's a Rainbow Rare, but I never liked the Rainbow Rares. We'll look at the Rainbow Rare in a minute. This is, as far as I'm concerned, the cool version of it. And actually, right now, it's really hard to gauge the price of this. I don't think it's fair to just say, well, you know, it's a $7 card, TCG Player says so. Nah, mate, it's really not. Having said that, there is a version available on eBay right now for $16. Don't ignore the shipping. I'm looking at it from the UK, so obviously it's showing me shipping to the UK, which is absurd. But it is a $16 card over on eBay, and this might be a bargain, honestly. This might legitimately be a little bit of a bargain, because I think this card is only going to get worse. The funny thing is, if we look at the recent solds, we do see one for $3, but then we look, and I don't know why it's showing us in this order, this is bizarre, but they're generally selling for $15, and then there's one for $3, which looks like an absolute bargain, but that was on February the 16th. So don't actually read anything into that. There's nothing to be gained from that, okay? That was months ago at this point. It's not a $3 card. If you find this card for $3, might I suggest you get it? I think you'll, be happy that you picked it up. But, nah, this isn't a $3 card, mate. And the thing is, right now, Regidrago V-Star... Oh, I didn't actually show you the rainbow, did I? I should show you the rainbow, shouldn't I? Same deal, incidentally. It's ticking along at like a $7 card, jumps up to an $11 card. So not quite such a big jump. I'm not a fan of the rainbow rares. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been pretty clear and consistent with this. I don't like the V-Stars. I don't think the V-Stars are particularly cool. I'm not a fan of the V-Stars. But I understand some people do like them. That's lovely. But it does go to prove my point, which is Regidrago across the board is spiking in price. And it is a pretty significant spike. But if we go over to Limitless just for a moment, and we go and have a little bit of a gander at the North American International Championships, and we try and figure out how good Regidrago is, there was a top 16. We did see Jacob I getting top 16 with Regidrago. That happened, that was a thing. The next highest was Ryan Miller at 43rd place. And then after that, I have to do quite a bit of scrolling on Limitless. Quite a bit of scrolling. Here we go. Jacob Cantus at 179th. So there was one in top 16. There were a few in day 2. But it's fair to say that Regidrago did not exactly represent that well at NAIC. So what's causing this sudden spike? It's not the NAIC meta, because that meta is now gone. There's no more tournaments, and it wasn't amazing in that meta. It was fine. It was a fringe good deck. Good enough for top 16, but never really threatened winning the tournament. The difference is Worlds. Because when we get round to the World Championships, things are different. I showed you the metagame the other day. I told you that Regidrago is taking a significant step up, and there are 2 reasons why it's taken a significant step up, and they are Haxorus and Kyurem. You see, the whole point about Regidrago V-Star is that it's got an attack that for free energy allows you to copy the attack of any dragon Pokemon in your discard pile. So the theory here is that you pop a bunch of dragon Pokemon in your discard pile, you get free energy on Regidrago, and then you can switch between attacks at will. So, we look at NAIC, for instance, you've got Hisui and Gudra, 200 damage, and you take 80 less from attacks next turn. So there's your kind of tanky attack. And then you've got Dragapult, which does 200 to the active and drops 6 damage counters on the bench. So there's your big damage, but also dropping damage counters. And then we've also got your Raging Bolt that lets you discard as much energy as you like on your board and do 70 for each one discarded. It's a very good card. Although that one's more of a kind of once per game. You're not really playing enough energy acceleration here to really take full advantage of that. But it is still a good attack that will come off here or there. But it really is kind of a once per game kind of thing. You're not going full bore energy acceleration, so you're not expecting too much. Like I say, kind of a once per game kind of thing. Although you can go aggressive with Teal Mask Ogapon and you can pull it off, just to be clear. You're already playing Grass Energy for Regidrago. You absolutely can go aggressive with Teal Mask Ogapon. Each of those can attach an extra energy during your turn. So yes, you can do it, but it's not like a Raging Bolt Ogapon deck where you can really take advantage of that and use it every turn. It's a little bit more awkward is all I'm saying. But then when we get to the World Championships, Shrouded Fable becomes legal. And Shrouded Fable is almost, not 100%, but almost exactly the same as the Night Wanderer set in Japan, which is now legal. And like I say, we had 2 new tricks, 2 new cards that can be popped into the stable of attacks to use, and they make a big difference. One of them is Kyurem. Now, Kyurem's redonk, right? 5 energy, you do 110 to 3 of your opponent's Pokemon, but you have to discard all the energy. Of course, it's not 5 energy for Regidrago, it's free, and you still don't really want to discard the energy, but there will be times where you can legit take free prize cards with this. I promise you it's going to be worth it. But it does have that ability whereby if your opponent has any card with Chorus in his name in the discard pile, i.e. Lost Zone decks, then you can actually use this for a single colourless energy, at which point you actually don't use Regidrago, you just actually attack with Kyurem, use the ability to use this as a single energy attacker, and you're off and rolling. Really helps against Lost Zone, but also is just a nice trick. It's a nice tool in the arsenal, so to speak. There is another newer Chorus card as well, but we don't expect that to see as much play. But then we've got Haxorus. Now, Haxorus is kind of annoying. It's a single energy attack, but again, you're Regidrago, so you have to do it as a free energy attack. But it's an instant KO on any Pokemon with special energy attached. If your opponent's got an active Pokemon with any special energy on, you just whack this up and go, oh, looks like I get an instant one-hit KO. Go me. And you know what? Yeah, that'll work very, very nicely indeed. And now, not only have you got all the attacks you had last time for Regidrago, But now you've got an instant one-hit KO on anything with special energy, or the ability to go and drop 110 on free bench Pokemon and take multiple prizes off decks that have lots of little Pokemon on the bench. And that has made Regidrago a lot better. And because Regidrago has gone and jumped in how good it is, it's gone and jumped in price as well. Of course, I showed you the V stars, but if we have a look at the V for a moment, the best V is the alternate art. The alternate art is a stunning card, and it's been hanging around at about $18 for a while. It's jumped up to $22, but you'll see that one sold for $24, and this is another situation where I don't expect this to hang around. I don't expect this to be a card which stays here. If Regidrago is as good as it looks, if it does turn out that the hype is real, expect this one to be jumping up quite significantly. As a side note, there is also a version of this, which is a prize pack version, which again has been going up significantly from about $1 to about $4. But again, it's a prize pack version. The jumpers only just happened. There aren't that many of them out there. Don't expect this to stick here. Expect this to keep going up. And the point I'm making here is we've actually got a bunch of different Regidrago. I've shown you all the cool Regidrago. The Rainbow Rare, the V-Star, the prize pack versions, the alternate art. I've shown you all of them, and they are all across the board going up significantly. Fine, there is a full art Regidrago as well. It was dropping down to $2. It's now jumped back up again. I don't think the full art Regidrago V is necessarily the coolest one among them, but it is jumping up nonetheless. And my point here is very, very simple. This is happening across the board to all versions of Regidrago, and it's not some weird coincidence. I've just explained the reason to you. So now it's over to you guys. Are you surprised by Regidrago's jump? Do you think Regidrago is legit? Or do you think it's all going to calm down again because Regidrago is not actually that good? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Lawasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Star of Dav, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.